Dis After Dark Podcast is sponsored by Unofficial.com, the home of Halloween Horror Nights news and rumors all year round. Find us on the web at www.hhnunofficial.com. So stop the fog machines and clear the cobwebs. It's time for another episode of the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Welcome to Universal After Dark, a Universal podcast that's not the same as all the others.
Hold on. Go.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Universal After Dark. I'm Amanda, your host as always, and I'm joined today by Craig.
Hello.
Oh, fancy seeing you here, mate. We haven't done a podcast together in a long time.
I've come out of retirement just for you.
Yes, such a champ. Love it. And I'm also joined by Paul.
Welcome, you morose motherfuckers.
I always love the little bits that you say on these podcasts. It probably makes me laugh all the time. So, I just want to get into it because I've got a few things that I want to talk about, really, because we haven't recorded a proper, full Universal After Dark in a little bit. So I have got a bit that I want to talk about. So, first, I know that you guys are going to be drinking, so what are you drinking?
Well, I'm drinking a blended 18-year-old whiskey, and I've mixed it with pure orange juice because I'm dirty.
What? That is the weirdest thing. Is that like a real thing? Do people do that? I've never heard it before.
I don't think they do that.
Oh, you made a special drink.
But I am doing it. So, cheers.
Oh, that sounded like it wasn't nice.
It's a treble.
Oh, no.
This could get mucky.
Oh, yay. Okay, Paul, what are you drinking?
I'm on the same thing that I was on Dis After Dark the other night. I've got a Jack Daniels with honey.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are so fancy with your drinks.
We're like ladies.
I know you are.
I'm a
Proper
lady.
fancy.
I'm a lady too.
Well, I'm just drinking water.
Oh, you're doing my head in.
Sorry.
I want old Amanda back.
Do you?
Well, I want Bog-Eye Boston crawling round on her hands and knees, bleeding out of her burst veins in her eye, full of whatever she's indulged herself on. I don't want this water freaking shite.
Oh, so sweet. Maybe when I go on holiday, I'll be drinking again, but for
Freaking
right
hell.
now, just not.
One drink, you'll be on your back.
Well, at least I'll be a cheap date.
Well, yeah. Well, hello, lady. Can I buy you half a Vimto and Coke?
That's what I'll be like, and I'll probably just marry someone while I'm over there. Big wedding.
Big American wedding.
Like Ross and Rachel and Friends.
Oh, don't make... How do you know Friends? You weren't even born.
I love Friends. Friends is my favourite TV show.
That's like retro for you, old school.
It isn't. It was while I was growing up.
We're like into chips and that, me and Paul.
And cheers.
Yeah, and Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, I remember watching the first ever Friends thinking, this is shit.
Oh, what?
But it's boss, I love it.
I love it so much. Literally, I used to go and stay at my auntie's house for little sleepovers on weekends sometimes, and she had all the box sets of Friends, like, as they came out. And so back then, I used to think that she was so
Rich.
magical and rich, because they were expensive to buy VHS box sets, especially as soon as they came out. And so every Saturday I used to sit in and watch the Friends VHSs.
Sing the song for us.
No.
Sing it.
No.
Sing. That was Bonanza.
Yeah, that was not Friends.
I'll be there for you.
Craig, have you been to Central Park in Liverpool?
What? Say what now?
What? Mate, I don't even live there anymore and I've been about a million bajillion times.
I was in Five Guys today. But that's another story.
Well, in Liverpool, they have a full replica of Central Park coffee
You're
house.
literally shitting me.
They do all the drinks from the TV show. You can sit on the couch. They play Friends on a loop all day long.
Where is this? Is this in Bold Street in the time loop?
You know what? I think that they did open a second one on Bold Street, but this first one is kind of near, like around where the tunnel is, kind of, around that area.
I was having a pint round there the other day.
Oh,
in that, like, that Swedish bar with, like, 100 ales in it. It's like a cabin inside.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember what it's called because the Baltic Fleet now. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find that
and say that I've actually been in the real Central Park.
What?
At Warner Brothers. I have sat on the couch.
Oh, I'm so jelly.
I'm so jelly.
Oh, Friends. I'm gutted now. Well, anyway, enough Friends. Let's talk about Halloween Horror Nights, because I've realised that I haven't actually spoken yet about the new website, the little teaser video that came out. I haven't spoken about anything, and up until today, I hadn't even seen the new website.
I had not seen the new website. I've seen the mobile version of it now, and I've registered.
Yeah. So Halloween Horror Nights were kicking it a little bit old school with the way that they did the website this year. So it's not as interactive as past websites have been, but it's a little bit more interactive than what it has been in recent years. And so they basically had a thing on the website a couple weeks ago where you could sign up to be a soul collector. And if you sign up to be a soul collector, basically you'd be issued an item, so an item would be sent to your house that will identify you as an elite soul collector, which I find interesting because I can't recall them ever sending anything out to anybody.
I've got a feeling we won't get anything in the UK.
Well, when you sign up for it, you had to enter your name and your address, and obviously in England we don't have zip codes, we have postcodes, and they're a little bit longer. They have more letters in than zip codes do. So it wouldn't accept our British postcodes. So I put my postcode in with my address.
I got mine in.
It wouldn't accept mine. But maybe they've added something different to the website now so that British people can put their postcodes in. But on the day that they launched the website, it wouldn't accept the British postcode. So I just put mine in the regular address bit. So now I'm going to feel really sad if I don't get one of these things because I signed up the day that it was released.
Well, I signed up today and I got a number, and it's only something like, at the moment, 22,000, I think, have signed up, which isn't a lot, really. But then you've got to think these are Uber people going on these websites. The general public, the JP, just don't know anything about it, do they? They just turn up.
That's it, exactly. So out of all these people that have signed up to be a soul collector, hopefully everybody will get their item sent to them. But you also have the opportunity to attend a special soul collector social media meetup. I'm going to assume that they're not going to invite everybody. So I don't know how they're going to select who they invite.
Well, what if the thing they send you out is just a pin? And you have to wear said pin when you're at Halloween Horror Nights. And what if that gives you maybe only soul collectors can go through certain bits of the maze?
That would be extra cool.
You know, maybe just...
Surely we've got to get something extra because it says that you'll get extra things, that you'll get extra information, extra details about the event before anybody else does. But what is so good about being a soul collector? There has to be something.
I think you're going to... Characters out are going to interact with you on the walkers on the streets, whatever they finally announce. But it's going to be, what is a soul collector?
Someone who collects souls.
Exactly. I remember there was a PlayStation game back in the day where you sucked the souls. You were like a vampire, and you had this weird like mask that you'd opened, and you sucked people's souls to give yourself life. So was there anything like that in like the movie world? A sucker of souls?
I mean, none that I could think of off the top of my head. All that I'm thinking of is Hocus Pocus.
So maybe it's not going to be based on a movie. Maybe it's going to be what's the other one called when it's not an original? Yeah, that's the one.
Maybe. I mean, people are wondering whether there's going to be an icon at all this year, because there were some tweets. I don't remember who exactly it was now that tweeted, but it was the day the website launched. Basically, Halloween Horror Nights Twitter account was extra active that day, replying to people, and people kind of got the hint that there wasn't going to be an icon. I don't know though, because before that, when people saw kind of the theming of the website, so the skulls, the roses, things like that, a lot of people were leaning towards Lady Death, who was over in one of the Asian parks last year, or the year before. I think it was last year. We're thinking that she was going to be the icon for us this year, and she's kind of like a Day of the Dead type. So she looks really cool, but then with all of the hints that that Halloween Horror Nights are posting out on Twitter, like all our times will come, blah blah blah, people were leaning towards the caretaker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about all the mythology of Halloween Horror Nights, although I've bought Chris's books. Buy me book. I've never read them all the way through. I've only read the first like 100 pages, just because life gets in the way. But so I only know bits and bobs. But it wouldn't bother me if there isn't an icon. I don't think there is.
Well, I mean, there's been plenty of years where there hasn't been an icon, so I don't really think it makes any difference. So, like 2012, 13, and 14, we didn't have an icon. We only started having an icon again in 2015.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I've just re-registered on the website just to see if the UK postcode goes through, and it says zip code / postal code, and it's Tucky, and I was 20,510th. So that's not a lot of people, and if you spread it over the whole event, and then you spread it all over the individual nights, you're only talking there 10, 20, 30 people a night, 50 people a night, 100 people a night.
That's true.
You know, so it doesn't have to be this massive thing. But do you remember when Disney were launching that failed film? Oh, what was it? Tomorrowland. Where there was a lot of interactivity within the parks, and you could go and do these certain tasks, and you got a pin at the end of it when you did it all, the pin from the film. So imagine if you have to take your Halloween Horror Night experience, and what they post out to your house, you take along, you wear it, and it allows you to go in and solve some sort of riddles.
That sounds like that's not a million miles away from happening, especially with the repository house they did last year. That could have been them gearing up for something like this.
Was that the paid VR one?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't do it in the end. I ran out of time because of the hurricane.
Do you think they'll do something like that this year?
I mean, I don't know whether they'd do it paid again, but because to be honest, I don't know if it was all that popular. But what they might do is they might have been using that as maybe a practice run, and then they're going to do something like you're saying, where whatever item it is that you receive that says you're a soul collector, you get this added extra benefit. And maybe it will be a VR house or a more intimate.
Imagine if you went through a house on your own.
Oh my, I would die.
Oh, God.
I'm such a wimp, really.
I am.
Like, I act really tough, and I do love Halloween Horror Nights, and I do love horror films, but I am an absolute wimp. I'll be crawling through the house.
I literally listened to the Dis After Dark episode where I did Halloween Horror Nights from 2 years ago. I listened to it yesterday, and you can hear me going through, I think it's 3 houses, and I nearly collapse some of the houses. I nearly jump through the wood, through the walls.
Oh my God.
I am the best scared that there is ever.
I feel like I just slither along the walls. And that's how I go. And I just scream and scream and scream the entire way. And then I'll run a little bit, and I'll run into something and almost die or fall over. And it's like, me going through the house is just, I feel like it's over in 2 seconds. So that's why I have to do the houses so many times. Because I'm just all over the place when I'm inside them.
That's what I'm like.
So I would be a mess if I was by myself. But if they were going to say, okay, we're going to maybe take a group of 10 of you through together, and then that's it, no one's going to be rushing you through, you can take your time. Obviously, don't take the piss with it, but you're not getting rushed through every 2 seconds by a team member. I'd love that. If last year's paid house wasn't a VR thing, I would have been more inclined to do it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because from what I heard of people doing it, you kind of put into groups of maybe like, I think it was about 6 or 8 people, and you had to work together to get through, and that made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, because I was thinking, Ash doesn't want to do it, I'll do it by myself, and then I'm going to have to interact with these people who I don't know and I've never met them before, and they might all be friends and I'll be by myself.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
Yeah, like I kind of took away a bit of the fun for me. But if they were like, okay, we're just going to take 10 of you through, you don't have to talk to each other or look at each other or be near each other, you just walk through the house, I would have preferred to do that. Because really, if I'm walking through the house with Ash, I'm not talking to her while I'm walking through the house, I'm screaming and running. So it makes no difference who I'm walking through with. But if I had to do a task with somebody, I'm not as into that idea.
Have you been into the what's it called in Liverpool? They're all over the place. It's where you go in, you get locked into a room, and you've got to solve the clues. Rooms. Yeah.
No, I haven't done one yet.
Well, there's one in Liverpool, and we've done it with our friends, and they will help you along. You know, when you're being absolutely thick. Mm. They'll help you along to get you through, so they can get you through within like half an hour if they have to. But you go into like 4 rooms maybe, or 5 rooms. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe.
I don't know, like that kind of is what the repository was like last year, but with the addition of the VR stuff on it. And I was all up for doing it, and then I kept making plans to do it while I was there, and then the hurricane kind of messed it up, and then I thought, you know what, actually, I'm not all that bothered about doing it.
Yeah, because it had bad reviews, didn't it?
Well, that's it. People weren't saying amazing things about it, and then I didn't want to be in a group of people that I didn't know, and I just felt kind of awkward, so it didn't really matter to me whether or not I missed it. But if people were raving about it, I would have just dealt with feeling anxious in a group of people.
Yeah.
Because it would have been worth it. But I don't know, they've got to be doing something, because they have made an awfully big deal about this soul collector thing. But if you go back onto the website, you have your own soul collectors page. And yep. So you get a reward. So your first reward is an exclusive Halloween Horror Nights wallpaper for your computer or your phone. but there's 6 other locked boxes, and it says that you'll be invited back to this page to see what else it's going to be. But there's also a countdown, and the countdown, it's 14 days from now, so that's the 3rd of August that the countdown ends on. I can't decide whether I feel like this is going to be a full announcement on the 3rd of August. Like they're going to announce everything. Or they're going to announce one thing and kind of do it from there. I feel that's very...
Well, they've sort of set it up with the page, haven't they? Where you've got 6 like you say, 6 lock boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking they're not going to put everything out at once. I think there's going to be 6 announcements. And if you think, what date are you saying? What date have you said? 3rd of August?
Mm-hmm. 3rd.
When does it start?
15th of September.
So that's maybe 6 weeks.
That's pretty much exactly 6 weeks.
Boom. 1 announcement a week.
But then, can they leave it that late to announce everything?
Yeah. This event is huge.
It is, but with the last few years, the attendance has just grown and grown and grown, and the hype around the event has been crazy leading up to it. This year, it seems to be, well, the Universal community is going crazy anyway, because of lack of announcements for anything. But it's just so flat.
But isn't that amazing in itself? There's no announcements and we're all still buzzing about it and talking about it. It's just like it's advertisements for nothing. If you know what I mean.
That's to us. So that's just to us, the hardcore fans. But if I was just a general fan that just came every so often, and I based going to the event on what kind of houses were going to be there, and I didn't know what they were going to be.
I've booked my flight for this year as soon as the flights come out. So I meant, is that 11 months? So no, I haven't. It was early this year, like 8 months. It might have been actually. No, it's a good 8 or 9 months I've booked this flight out. And I'm only booking that on stuff that's gone in the past. On past experiences. Halloween Horror Nights 23, Halloween Horror Nights 25. On the strength of them 2 events, I've booked this event. So I don't think people are going to be put off. They'll already have a rough idea of how many people are coming because of ticket sales.
I just can't decide whether or not I like it. I mean, I know that in the past they did just kind of pick one day and just announce everything, one night, and just announce everything in one night, and that was cool. But I feel like we've been so spoiled over the last few years with all of these early announcements, and it's kind of making the community feel like something's gone wrong. That seems to be the general consensus of what people are thinking. Something's gone wrong.
But it could all be part of the ultimate story, couldn't it?
It could be. And they could announce something on the 3rd of August that just blows us away. Or they might even start announcing things sooner than that, and then 3rd of August is just the big one. Nobody knows. That's what's driving everybody crazy.
Well, I've had a bit of information, and I can't release my sources because I'd have to kill them, or they'd have to kill me. I don't know. But apparently, Ash vs Evil Dead was supposed to be announced last week, but at the last minute, the announcement was cancelled by the IP holders. Now, what does that say to you?
Well, do you follow the Twitter account called the Ifrit?
The what?
The Ifrit.
That'll be a no.
So, it's this Twitter account that pops up every now and again, and it does poems or poem type Twitter tweets. kind of hinting at what's going to be at Halloween Horror Nights, and they seem to know what they're talking about anyway. They seem to be very, very in the know, but the clues are pretty cryptic at first, but then once you get it, you're like, duh, of course that's what it is. And so their tweets recently were hinting that the Evil Dead was coming, and now it's not coming, and it was going to be Ash versus Evil Dead, and now you've just said that, and I'm like, oh, what?
Well, don't take as what I'm saying as gospel, because I'm just a buffoon. But that's just what I've heard. I'm literally going to put it in the show title to get extra downloads, but that's all I'm saying. I've said too much.
Well, have you seen Ash vs. Evil Dead?
No.
Okay, so I really love the Evil Dead films, really do like them, but I'd never watched Ash vs. Evil Dead, so that's a TV series. I started watching it last week or the week before, because people on Twitter did seem to be pretty certain that this was going to be coming to Halloween Horror Nights, so I thought I'd give it a shot, and it's alright. It's not bad so far. I'll probably end up really, really liking it, but right now I'm just kind of like, it's okay.
Well, I think it's on Malaby's list that if they announce it, he's going to struggle not to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he really likes the show.
Yeah. And he had the chance to room with me, and he turned me down.
Oh, no.
I know. He could have shaved me back for me.
Oh, Lee, imagine all that back shaving you could have done.
Gutted.
Someone else got the job, didn't they, Craig? Instead.
Someone else got the job, yeah. When I'm not at liberty to say who's coming with me.
It's not me.
It's not you.
I'm just putting that out there. It's not me.
You wouldn't. They're literally the size of you. You wouldn't be able to reach the top of me back.
No, I know. I'll shave your legs instead.
I've had that. I've told you that story on Pop After Dark when I got my legs shaved, but I won't tell it on this one. It's not for this one.
No, it's not. So, all the rumours that people have been talking about so far, I don't usually like to go too far into the rumours because, especially when it's like this and we haven't heard anything for a while, I feel like you could make a rumour out of anything. But people seem to be fairly certain that a Saw house will be there this year. How are you feeling about Saw?
I've never seen any.
I think, yeah.
This is a standard thing on Pop After Dark. I get a film put out and I'm like that. Nope, never seen it.
What?
And that's what everyone does.
Oh my god. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Saw.
I did a Saw maze. Oh god, how long ago was that? 7, 8 years ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, and wasn't a fan of it. And I've only ever seen bits of the first movie, but that might be why I wasn't a fan. But it just seemed to be a lot of pigs chasing around with chainsaws.
Yeah. The Saw's been at Halloween Horror Nights before. It was there in 2009. I think it's been there before as well, but I don't remember off the top of my head when it was. But there's a new Saw film coming out this year called Jigsaw, so people seem to be just fairly certain it's going to be there. I'm just not into them because I like a story. And I feel like I can handle gore and I can handle blood and stuff like that, but I always feel like the Saw films just rely too heavily on that. And then it's not very fun to watch. But things like that and things like Hostel scare me in a maze because it could be real.
Is Hostel where they cut the kidneys out in there?
Yeah.
I've never seen that either.
Oh my god. What do you do with your life?
I just like dancing.
Me too.
There you go. But you're dancing watching films.
Yeah, clearly. I can multitask.
I'm only a man. Now there's a friggin' woman in charge of the bleeding TARDIS. Something's out for us.
Right, I've never watched any Doctor Who ever, but when I saw that news about the new Doctor, I was pretty excited about that. It's cool.
I'm made up because I want to watch it with me girls. But Bring Doctor Who to Halloween Horror Nights.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Well, I can't really imagine because I don't know what Doctor Who is about, but I imagine they could do cool things with it.
Well, you've got so many doctors and you've got so many baddies. It could be the Walking Dead house. You could do Doctor Who for the next 10 years and have a totally different house every single year.
Who owns the rights to Doctor Who? Because don't they sell Doctor Who merchandise at Universal?
They do, and at Disney.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, they sell it in London, don't they?
Yeah.
And in the UK pavilion even. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've never really been into it, but I think it's pretty cool that they have a woman doctor now. That's cool. But anyway, yeah, Saw is rumoured to be coming. Not really into it, but I feel like it would make a very scary maze. Then another really heavily rumoured house, and it's more so being rumoured for Hollywood, but then people are kind of assuming that this is going to be a joint one with Hollywood and Orlando, and that's a Blumhouse mashup house. So that's things like Insidious, Purge, Paranormal Activity, kind of all put together in one house, which I think would be pretty cool.
I love the Insidious house, but I'd be disappointed to see it again.
But surely it wouldn't be based off of Insidious 1, 2 or 3, it'd be off Insidious 4.
But don't you think that's like lazy as well?
No, because if you're doing a mashup house, you've got things like Sinister in there as well. And by the way, I think Sinister's the scariest film that I've seen in years. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my god, what?
Have you seen It Follows?
Yeah, because you told me to watch it, and I watched things that you told me to watch. You didn't watch anything.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did it shit you up?
No, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, I'm not being funny, but if a naked Native American Indian was standing outside your window now, you would shit yourself and run.
Yeah, I would, because I've seen It Follows.
Exactly. Or a naked pensioner on top of a roof, just standing there looking at you.
Oh my god.
Come on, Paul, what would you do?
I'd run a mile.
Well, if a mile it'd catch up to you, you'd have to run to Land's End or John O'Groats and then get on a ferry. And you know, the only way to get rid of it is to pass it on. How'd you pass it on, Amanda?
By getting jiggy.
By getting jiggy. But you know, when that person you get jiggy with gets killed, it comes back to you anyway.
Yeah, this is why it made no sense to me. I was like, what? So you could go out for life then?
Yeah, you've just got to get jiggy all the time.
No, I wasn't into this film. I thought it was pretty poo.
I'm so glad you watched it, though.
You know what, though? I've heard loads of people raving about it, and I'm like, did you watch the same thing that I watched?
I'm going to stand outside your house tonight, naked.
No, please don't.
You won't know it's me, because I'll have shaved all my hair off.
No. Well, anyway, in this Blumhouse mashup, so you've got Paranormal Activity, so that could be like one room. Then you've got Sinister. Sinister would be very, very scary. Paul, have you seen Sinister?
No, I haven't. A lot of the modern horror, I just can't take to it.
I feel the same. It's very rare that I watch. I'm a massive fan of horror films. I'm obsessed with them. But recent ones, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the same thing over and over again. But there's something about Sinister. So the first one came out like, I think 2012 or 2013. Terrified me. And then the second one came out quite recently, maybe like last year. And I still haven't watched the entire film all the way through because I get too scared and have to turn it off.
And what's that called?
Sinister.
Sinister 2?
Yeah, Sinister and Sinister 2.
And is Annabelle the spin-off from Sinister?
No, that was from The Conjuring.
Yeah. I can never remember. There's so many different spin-offs from different films.
Exactly, but there's a new Annabelle film coming out in August.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't heard anyone say that that's a rumour, but that would be pretty cool. But then saying that, people were saying that there could be a Conjuring house, but now there won't be a Conjuring house because of some lawsuit or something with the film. Not anything to do with Halloween Horror Nights, like to do with the film itself. So I don't know if we'll see that. But there's quite a few really good films that they could include in this mashup house. Insidious was a very good house. Insidious 4 isn't out yet. But is it John Murdy from Hollywood? I think it's Murdy. Had tweeted something about how he was reading a screenplay for a film that wasn't out yet. This is a while ago. And people were feeling like that was maybe Insidious. So it could be, but then you've got things like The Purge. So a lot of people have been saying that The Purge is going to be back this year.
Again, that'll disappoint me because one of the most disappointing things for me was Halloween Horror Nights 23 was American Werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. And then they brought it back for 25. And they just happened to be the only 2 times I've ever been. So I knew it, do you know what I mean? You know, I'd be devastated if, now we're bringing back American Werewolf in London for the 3rd time. I'd be like, that you fucking shitting me?
I mean, I liked that they did American Werewolf in London twice because I felt like the second time they did it was a little bit better. And also, I was talking to my friend a couple of days ago. He hasn't been to Orlando for years, and this is his first Halloween Horror Nights. And he was desperate for them to do Halloween. And I was like, mate, they're not going to do Halloween again because they did Halloween and then they've done Halloween too. Like, it's just not, I don't think it's going to be there this year. And he's devastated about it, and he's devastated about Alien versus Predator. And so I feel sorry for people like him who, like, if they only do these houses one time ever, you'll never get to see them. So that's why I don't ever really complain when they repeat things, because I think about the people that didn't get to go last year.
Well, getting back to your movies, Sinister is on Amazon Prime.
Watch it.
So I'm going to watch it. And Sinister 2 is on Netflix.
Well, you know, when I was doing my little horror movie review costumes,
Yes,
I did plan to do Sinister, and I put latex all over my face.
As you do.
To do the Sinister makeup, and I terrified myself that much that I had to take it off.
Oh, you should have. Did you video it anyway?
No, I was too scared.
Do you have outtakes?
Not for that, because I didn't film that bit, but I have outtakes in general. It's usually me being like, oh, what the fuck?
That'd be hilarious.
Or me trying to fix my eyebrow that's fallen off.
Yeah. You need to do an outtakes.
You know what? Ash was going to put out an Amanda outtakes video at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It ended up just being too long, so she scrapped it. But it was pretty funny.
Do it, Ash.
Yeah, do it, Ash. But honestly, if you go on the Wikipedia page for Blumhouse, there is so many cool films they could put in. You've got Ouija, Purge, Amityville.
Ouija, never seen.
That's relatively new though, so you probably won't have seen that one anyway. But then on here it says that Split is one.
Split?
Yep.
Is that a new one?
What?
An old one?
What?
Oh God, Amanda, am I doing your head in?
But it was like the biggest film of the year so far.
Of this year?
Last year.
Oh, Amanda. You do know
No,
I'm
actually, this year, the beginning of this year.
I'm old, you know.
It's the one with, what's his name? James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, and it's a sequel, isn't it? A quasi-sequel.
Yeah.
What was it? I can't even remember the name. Something with Bruce Willis in, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Was it?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh my God, you haven't seen anything.
And now they're doing a joint film, aren't they? Together.
Unbreakable Split?
Yeah.
It's like my bleeding wedding night, that.
Oh, my wife. Anyway, I really like the sound of something like this mashup house. And I don't remember who it was that I was talking to about this, but I was like, if this is true, I think this will be my favourite house of the year.
Don't you? Oh no, a mashup house of any sort is such a disappointment to me.
What? Why?
Because it's just lazy.
No, it isn't. You have to put more work into it because, right, think about this. You've got... Yeah. Right? You recreate the houses, but you've got an entire house to do it, so you can spread it out for pretty much as long as you want to, and you can take your time with the scenes. But if you're doing a mashup house, you maybe have to fit an entire film's plot into maybe 2 or 3 rooms.
And right, I was so excited for American Horror Story, and then it's 3 series. That's not even a film, that's series. That's like 20 hours worth of content in a couple of rooms. Did you
do American Horror Story last year?
No.
Mate, you don't know then, it worked dead well.
Getting the man all angry.
And you are. Making me dead stressed out. American Horror Story was such a good house last year. It was done so well. So I'm not even really thinking about that all too much right now because I can guarantee that that's going to be a very good house anyway. Same with Shining. I'm very happy that we've got Shining, and I know that the Shining's going to be a really good house. So I'm just thinking about all these possibilities.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking about these originals. Like, what are these originals going to be? And honestly, when people were talking about how they were thinking that Lady Death might be coming over and being the icon, I was honestly feeling like she could have such a cool ScareZone or such a cool maze.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe she's not going to be the icon. It makes me a bit sad.
But she might be, because who's going to suck your soul more than death?
Exactly, and I have made a flower crown to do a costume for her, so she better be.
Do you know what you should do at this point? Just do loads of boss videos of just shit that might or might not be in it.
You know what? On all my days off lately, I've been so busy. So I haven't had as much time to do things as what I would have liked to. But with all these rumours, I've booked a few days off work for over the weekend and a little bit longer. And so basically, I'm going to just make about 6 or 7 different costumes and makeups, and I'm just going to film them. And if they happen to be houses, that's cool. If not, I'm just going to probably release a video with them all in anyway.
Just do what Gary's done from that Florida guy. He's filmed a reveal video for every possibility in the history of the world. So that 30 seconds after they make the announcement, he can put his video out.
Oh, God.
Why I, man? Ash versus Evil Dead, man. Like that.
Actually, has he actually?
No, I don't know. But he did for that first one, didn't he?
I know he did for The Shining, because The Shining was really for a long time. But I was going to say that's some extra cool, like, being organised for Gary. That's really good. I was being proud of him.
I love Gary.
I love Gary so much.
I'd love to literally skin all the skin off his head and just have a Gary mask.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's got a lovely beard.
I know he has. He's got the coolest beard I've ever seen.
Yeah. If I die, I want to come back as his beard.
Okay, we'll make that happen.
Thanks.
But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do with costumey wise. But did you buy your tickets? Did we already talk about your tickets that you bought?
Yes, I did. I bought the tickets that you suggested, which I'm pissed now, so I can't remember. It was the first so many nights of the opening.
Oh yeah, you bought the Russia Fear ones.
Yes, which was an exceptional find by yourself, because I was literally on the verge of buying some other ones. And then against your better judgment, I bought an express for the Saturday night, which I know where you're coming from, but again, listening to my episode from 2 years ago, October, go back and find it, it's Boss. We get through 5 houses that night before we had to use Express. So that meant we could go back and do them other 5 houses with Express. And I'm literally only there for a weekend.
That's true.
You know, so I'm going the Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday night, and then that's me done, basically. So I just had to sort of pick one night, and which is going to be the busiest night. It doesn't really matter, does it, for that weekend?
No.
I've got one guaranteed night where I can blitz through everything.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, I just want to experience as much as I can. And, like, again, listening back, we were coming out at midnight. And there was some drunken debauchery going on around midnight. I wouldn't mind staying to like the end to see it emptying out. Does it empty out?
Yeah, it does.
You know, so I want to see it when it's quiet a bit. So I wouldn't mind, literally, because you can sleep on the plane on the way home. What time would they kick it out?
It's different on different nights. So sometimes it's like 12 or 1, and I think it's even was maybe 2 as well.
So how did he kick it out?
They just kind of start closing areas one by one from the back.
So just shepherd you out, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the 2 times I've never really. The first one, everywhere was Walking Dead. 23 was Walking Dead, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Across the whole park.
Yeah.
And then the scare zones, yeah. And then 25 had some amazing scare zones. Mm-hmm. And because I was only there for the weekend, I didn't really give them the time they deserved. You know, you watch Gary's videos and your videos, and you get to spend a lot of, and like Brady's videos, you get to spend a lot of time in them scare zones when you can go back multiple nights.
Yeah. You
know, so maybe I have one night where I don't do houses, but I can't see that, to be honest.
I mean, I can do all the houses and spend all the time in the scare zones in a night. The way that I do it is I look at the scare zones as I'm walking in. So, like, obviously you have to walk through them to get to where you're going. I have a plan in my head of which houses I want to do first. So I'll obviously walk through the scare zones, and I'll take them in a little bit, but I'm just trying to get to where I'm going. And then once I've done the houses, then I spend the rest of the night in the scare zones. Because then it's dark, because when it's light and you're walking through the scare zones, you're not getting the full effect anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, I think.
We're literally going to miss each other by about 5 days, aren't we?
I'm so gutted about it, you know.
Oh, it's been amazing.
I know. We could have had a proper Dis After Dark party. Me, you, and Chris Rips.
Oh, Chris Rips.
We miss Chris so much.
You'll be back soon, guys.
Yeah, we haven't killed him. He's still alive. Don't worry.
Imagine if we had killed him now.
I know. Then I would have let the cat right out of the bag.
Yeah, and then I'd have to kill you.
Then you'd have to kill everyone that was listening, because then everyone would be witnesses to it.
Oh, bastard. It's like an episode of Fargo.
I know. But I think that's about it for Halloween Horror Nights stuff. Do you guys have anything else that you want to talk about?
I have one bit of news.
Go on.
Yeah.
Scare Actor Dining has now gone on sale.
Oh, yeah.
I spotted that today.
Now, that is a strange one, isn't it? Because that basically puts the icing on everything that we've talked about tonight. We don't know what's going to be in the dining.
No, exactly.
So why would you book it?
Well, this is it. I mean, you'll get fans like us that will most probably just book it anyway. But then at the same time, I think to myself, I know that I'm not going to like any of the food that they put on. Like, I know that I'm not. It's not to say they'll put rubbish food on, because they won't. you all just know that I'm really, really picky. So I'm not going for the food, I'm going to see the characters, and I want to know what characters I'm going to be seeing. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to do it anyway, though.
My sources told me that Ash vs Evil Dead is just delayed. It's not off the table.
Okay, that's good then.
So, now, also dead quick before we go, I went to Five Guys today, like I've just said, and I don't eat bread anymore.
Oh.
I don't eat burgers anymore, I'll be honest with you. However, in Five Guys, you can get a bunless burger, and you can in McDonald's. In McDonald's, they just give you all the insides of a burger in a box. But in Five Guys, they wrap it up in lettuce leaves for you. So you get the full burger effect, but it's in lettuce leaves, iceberg lettuce leaves. So I've today tweeted Universal and Disney, and both of them have replied. And Universal have said, so this is because a lot of people don't eat the bread anymore, do they, on the burgers?
No.
Is it just me, or?
I mean, I'm the opposite of you. If I go to McDonald's, I say, can I have a Big Mac without the burger, please?
Oh, you're a freaking weirdo.
And then I get the fries and put the fries on the bun with the sauce.
Couldn't you just get a Big Mac and have the veggie burger stuck on it instead?
No, because the veggie burger that McDonald's do, I really hate it because it's like actual vegetables, like mushed up, and I don't like that.
You're so hard
you know
way.
what I like? I'm dead picky.
You're such a Slytherin.
I know.
Well, Universal have said they're not available at our menus, but you could always speak to the team members at the restaurant and request one.
Oh.
So there you go. And Walt Disney World replied, "Hey there, Craig," because that's me. "You could always ask the chef to see if there's something they can do to accommodate you." So both of them have said it's not a thing on the menus as yet, but the chef will always just throw something at you without the bun. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah. And next week, because Universal After Dark is coming out next week as well, isn't it?
It is.
We are going to we've stolen this idea from UUOP. If you go and listen to the latest UUOP, where they shit all over the D23 announcements by pretending Universal's still relevant after all the Disney news.
It is.
Oh, God, come on, girl.
No.
Disney have smashed it out the park.
I'm saving my views on this for the next episode, but
Okay.
I'm just going to say that I disagree with you.
So, UUOP said D23, it's got something to do with Paul Washington will know because he's a fucking legend, but D23 means something.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, I can't even remember what it was.
It's like the year Disney left somewhere,
Yeah, I think
or
it's the year. It might even be the year that. No, it's not Oswald. Oh, it might actually be Oswald. Might have been the year that he drew Oswald for the first time.
so it's something like that.
Yeah.
So UUOP come up with the idea of Universal having a D23, but calling it U90 because that's the year the parks opened. So get it trending. Hashtag U90. What would you do to combat what Disney have just announced? So next week we're going to come at you with our ideas to combat Star Wars Hotel, all sorts. It's going to be the best episode ever.
Yeah.
In your face.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go. So, we'll have a new episode next week. We'll have a new Dis After Dark coming next week too. Go and buy Chris's new book, because that's out on Amazon. The 2017 version. It's very good. The artwork's very good on the book too.
And when we've paid the ransom for Chris, we'll get him back on the show.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll think about it. and I will have more videos coming up every week up until we go away in September. So, Paul, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, just go and listen to the latest episode of S.T.R.I.K.E, where we talk a little bit of Spider-Man history and kind of dissect the new film between the four of us, don't we, Craig?
I absolutely loved it, and I recorded the episode, and I've listened to it 3 times. What's that all about? That's either Alzheimer's or I really enjoyed it.
They're both.
Yeah.
Okay, Craig, anything that you want to win?
Nah, just everything Dis After Dark. Pop After Dark. We've got a new team member. He's got an orange-shaped head, and he's like a baboon. And we're recording that next week.
All the podcast next week. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Kerry's going to kill me.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.